Hello, everyone. Dear viewers, I'm back. I'm Dr. Ali Atiq, and I have came back with an interesting topic, interesting webinar like we have done it before. Before we embark to our webinar, I'd like to give a little bit introduction about myself and my faculty. You know me well. I'm Dr. Ali Atiq. I'm head of the Department of Pharmacology and Toxicology, Faculty of Pharmacy, Mahasa University in Malaysia. About our programs, we have actually 5 programs that has been offered right now in the Faculty of Pharmacy, starting from all the way from the diploma in pharmacy. It is a 3-year program, and after the completion of this program, you will be awarded a certificate in diploma in pharmacy, where you can practice as a pharmacy technician. Then the next is the Bachelor's of Pharmacy. It's a 4-year program, a very robust and an amalgamation of beautiful mixture of modules, all the way from pharmacology, a little bit of clinical pharmacy, and the most important thing is it's clinical and industrial attachments, which comes in the 3rd and the 4th year of the program. Once you are done with the program, the last year will be the clerkship, and after, once you are done with that, you will be called as a registered pharmacist. There's a 3rd program as well, and that is the Bachelor's in Pharmaceutical Technology. Although it's new, but it is gaining attention of our viewers. It is a 3-year program, and as the name suggests, pharmaceutical technology, it actually equips the students about the knowledge of the formulation, and definitely gives you a pathway towards the industrial, towards the scope of the job, towards the industry. And not just the pharmaceutical industry. You can find your position in the herbal, in the cosmetic, you name it. After the completion of the university, the horizon is open for you to be the part of any industry you want to. Last but not least is our research programs, particularly Masters in Pharmacy and PhD in Pharmacy. And I do not need to emphasize that after completion of these programs, what opportunities you're going to fall into. Now, I guess that's enough introduction of my faculty. Let's move towards the today's program and the webinar specifically. Today we have Mr. Ashutosh with us, with the topic of qualitative versus quantitative analysis. Mr. Ashutosh currently works as a lecturer at the Faculty of Pharmacy, Mahasa University. He's a certified good clinical practice from National Committee for Clinical Research, Ministry of Health Malaysia, and National Institute of Health USA. He received the undergraduate pharmacy degree from the Gautam Buddha Technical University, Lucknow, India in 2012, and graduated from Masters of Science, specifically pharmacy practice, from University Science Malaysia in 2017. He's a registered pharmacist with the Pharmacy Council of India. Mr. Ashutosh has several research articles published in a reputable journal. His expertise in research areas are antimicrobial resistance, self-medication, patient care, public health. He has also been awarded Certificate of Appreciation by Vice Chancellor of University Science Malaysia for his contribution to the community. Mr. Ashutosh is an active reviewer of many reputable journals as well. So without further ado, I will call upon Mr. Ashutosh, and please, sir, the floor is all yours.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Ali, for a wonderful introduction. Well, the introduction comes up later. The research and our work comes first, because that's where we lies upon. So me here, myself here at Mahasa University, we work every day along with my team, definitely along with the wonderful colleague like Dr. Ali and our faculty members who work every day to excel in the education first, to give the best possible research and academic environment to our students, being on par with the recent needs, the nature of the research and the nature of work going on in the industry and outside, day to day, keeping ourselves updated and making our students updated too. So along with that, when I got a chance here to share about today's research topic, that is qualitative versus quantitative analysis. Well, I tried to put up things first. When I started preparing for it, it felt like it's a world in itself. Yes, it is. The both researchers, both these analysis methods are world in themselves. So I try to make it, keep it very concise, short number of slides, less number of slides, lesser words, more of explanation, and even more possible questions to answer. Because analysis and research is a thing of practice, as my expertise says and my major says, pharmacy practice. It's a more of a practice approach. So we'll go into a nutshell how these things work, these two analysis and research methods work, where we use it in as simple as form possible. And I would expect more of a specific questions or more of questions. Doesn't matter, it's related, not related, but if it is arising during this whole talk I'm going to give with discussion, please put it up. It makes sense or not, do not worry, we'll make it sense, right? Because research is all about making sense to what doesn't make sense in the beginning. And what makes sense but it's not useful, to keep it out. That's what analysis gives us, right? So let's move further. This is just a disclaimer. What we are talking here is our own opinion view, right? So let's begin with a smaller niche, quantitative research. Well, the lots of alphabets in this term, quantitative, like 10 or 12 alphabets, including in one research, right? In a simple manner, let's say, those who are involved with research or those who have been through some research practice or work of analysis research, they might have crossed this term. But those who haven't, just for them, survey research, a normal survey that we do outside, even to know a very simple thing, even a question when you ask, you like me or not? And if somebody starts says that yes or no, that's like we are dividing into a simple two factor, yes or no. We are quantifying either you like it or you don't like it, right? Can go with a product, medicine, for any kind of research. Correlational. When we try to get these data and after that we relate, okay, why someone doesn't like you or why someone doesn't like this product. Then we go even in deeper a bit. Maybe didn't like the texture, didn't like the way you speak, didn't like you asking question, right? So we try to relate with the factors, underlying factors, sidelines factors, outliers, right? Further, when we simply the simple facts we apply into experimental research where we are really trying to quantify, and quantifying as simple as that, I mean falling into a certain criteria. There is no gray zone in between, either it's black or white. When we do that, we call it quantitative research. In experimental, for example, those who are in research, you may be trying to find out why someone is unhappy because of blood pressure issues or diabetes issue, right? Yes, it could be possible. You may try to find out whether a person with diabetes is happy or not. Well, answer is obvious, not happy, right? But still, level of unhappiness. And surprisingly, some people may differ. They would say, it doesn't affect me. I am as I was before, right? So that experimental research and quantitative research specifically gives you a clear black and white picture from individual respondents. Okay, those individual respondent could be again depending on your research practice or your objective that you want to do, right? How you want individual perspective, you want organizational perspective, you want departmental perspective. So the node point, the respondent criteria you fix, they become your individual respondents. Okay, once we get the respondents, a number, a set according to the sample size that we calculate, we come to a conclusion, and that's where we come with analysis. So that was about research. It is something like this: a client there, gives an input, a data, right? A symphony, or where we analyze it. Services, data analysis is going on, lots of mathematical formulas comes in, computer resources, because nowadays for running complicated statistical analysis we use software. There are plenty available outside, simply starting from your Microsoft Excel, which is a very potent, very strong statistical tool as well, if you start using it as a pro. Okay, moving forward, SPSS, many of you have heard about it, statistical package for social sciences, where we do population research, and it's a very strong tool for doing analysis for quantitative data, right? Other softwares are like R, MATLAB, SAS, Python, these all are there. Some in even review, people ask like how in review we differentiate here. Yes, systematic review meta-analysis is kind of like coming out of a conclusion, bringing out a conclusion. That's a quantitative, because you are quantifying that, yes, this is good, this is not good, right? That is not good. We are refining. So when we refine, we quantify. Because end of the day, whatever you say, you feel, end of the day, someone will ask, tell me whether I should buy this or get this service or take this product or not. That's the decision making. So quantitative gives you a decision making at a specific point level, right? On the other hand, qualitative, how we put up a qualitative research. It's about your, how to say it, context when we put it. We do not have a black and white here. Reason? Here your thoughts, your perception, your feelings matters. Okay? Something like, you may not like to go out in sun. It's too hot, it's too harsh, you may get dark and all, but where it comes the but, the respondent says, but it is good for health, so we should go. Why good for health? Yeah, under the influence of sunlight, when sunlight falls on skin, body automatically consumes the cholesterols and biomechanisms, metabolism works and synthesizes vitamin D, which is good for calcium metabolism and strengthening lots of body processes, including your bone health, right? So that but has changed the quantification. Now the response, he wants to go or not, has changed. It becomes an opinion. So, right? So it's a very contextual. In what context we are talking? If you ask him like, it's a hard sun outside, maybe you get tan or something, in that context, he will say no. But if you bring in other contexts like health, he will say yes, should go. So that's where qualitative research comes in, where there is absence of absolute truth. When I'm saying absence of absolute truth, I'm also saying where is absence of absolute false, right? If truth doesn't exist absolutely, false also doesn't exist there. It's a transition where it is very subjective, depends on person to person, even society to society, situation to situation. Okay, so here in a contextual analysis, it's very important to understand and take consideration of the context we are talking about. Importance of meaning. Okay, shoot could mean some place firing a gun at some person, right? At some place, if it is saying like shoot what you have in your mind, means speak out immediately. Do not keep it inside. So that is called context, right? Unique online mobile capabilities depends on again other. You give 10 age differences. A person, a kid with 10 years of age, a student of 20 years of age, a man of 30 years of age, someone retiring at 50, 60 years of age, and a geriatric at 70 years of age. The same phone, same model, the reviews, the responses, how they will give you their own feedback, opinion, usage criteria, everything will be different, right? So that goes again in context, subject, issues and questions. Again, same question will give you different answers. Quite some time, 10 different respondents will give you 10 different answers, because this same product or same thing affects 10 different people in 10 different ways, right? So here in qualitative, we need to have flexibility in designing the research. Okay, participant and researcher relationship again is important, because here there is no black and white, it's a gray line. So on gray line, the researcher who is trying to research and finding out certain issues have to be on board with the participant. Okay, researcher himself is the instrument here. Unlikely in quantitative, where we use survey tools, okay, we have certain criteria, fixed criteria, where researcher put his efforts beforehand in developing the tool, but not during the collection of data. But here, researcher have to be the part, right? Okay, how it says, your personality is a qualitative. Even if I say here IITJ, that's a MBTI type of, or just take an example because nowadays kind of popular. It's a very old thing. People used to do it even before, but current time, since pandemic, everyone started like have to do something right online. So I am ENFJ, I am INTJ. What those things mean? Even if one person say INTJ, another person also says INTJ, it would differ there. Reason? Their introvertness percentage now. You have to go even in deeper. That's why two INTJs still can differ very, very considerably. There could be a very considerable amount of differences in their opinion. That's where qualitative analysis comes in, right? Because two persons, qualitative, they're starting from their socioeconomic group, their cultural background, their faith, belief, their upbringing, their society, the environment they are working, they study, everything will play a role in what they are expressing. Okay, so like here, introverted, though it's INTJ, introverted, but slightly expressed introvert. Means it's a slight, very, very less percentage. Intuitive, well, distinctively expressed intuitive personality means always, often this person must be talking about like, hey, in my opinion, I feel like should not do this. He will go most of the time saying that in my feeling, or in my opinion, I feel like that feeling, talking to itself like from inside my thing is saying. Thinking, well, it's moderate, like a quarter, 1/4. So yeah, he thinks, but like in a quarter, more like he feels, he go for it, lesser on the brain work. Judging, very slight 1%, so he least judges, but still he falls under INTJ, right? So this was a quick intro about quantitative and qualitative, what they are in an understanding manner, right? We also talked about what kind of software we use for quantitative. For qualitative, usual analysis, because we cannot tie qualitative into some yes or no criteria, a fixed criteria. We have to have themes. Like here it says, this group of people we can say or put in introverted category because they have certain traits. A person with 1% or 2% criteria here still will be introverted, or a person with 99 will be introverted in the same category. We put them in certain themes, a group. Okay, so that's where in qualitative we call thematic analysis. Certain softwares are there, like if you ask to me, yeah, it's kind of difficult to process there, but NVivo we've been using, and we try to inculcate that uses in our students as well, because it's a good tool to help you out, right? Because it helps you categorizing, taking out the keywords and grouping the thoughts. Qualitative and quantitative, both researches are very, very important. How? Let's take it side by side, how they differ. So on the right side, when we see quantitative, it's a deal for discovering who, what, when, where. A very fixed set of questions. Who? Name the individual, name the person, what it is, when it is, where it is. It's like very fixed timeline is going on. On the other hand, on the same aspect, we see it explains the attitude and behavior of the market in detail, the setting in detail, the office in detail, the team in detail, okay, your research objectives, criteria in detail, okay. Even when we are talking, the time the respondent murmured makes sense, right? Second point, we go for numerical data and effective statistic to come with a yes or no in quantitative. Other side, we get the verbal information, because not everyone is keen to write long passages. Whatever comes in mind, they cannot write. So it's more of a verbal data collection or interview kind, right? Quantitative, we go for surveys, data collection techniques, but in qualitative, we have open questions. We let the respondents speak. We observe them. Many times, if they permit, there are certain qualitative researches where we need to record either audio or in video form, because the body language the respondent is using, the focus group, a group is discussing. One person's response may change opinion of the other person in the same group, right? So that helps. In quantitative, at the end, we get the hard data. Why I call it hard data? Because it's yes or no. Are you coming out with me tonight? Yes or no. Other hand, qualitative may be, I have to think. Let me think. Let me understand. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, if we are going till late night, maybe not. If let's say we can come back before midnight, we'll be okay. Situations, right? If we are going to eat, oh, food is not nice there, maybe we can change. So it's a no for the current, not no for an overall scenario. Same way we come in a healthcare. A service is being provided. For example, in Malaysia, we are emphasizing, since MCO, we are trying to emphasize the diseases, the problems, especially chronic diseases, and all the patients who are already on treatment. Um, we provide service so that they do not have to physically come to hospital again and again, like drive-through pharmacies, extended pharmacy services, training our pharmacists to be ready with these kind of scenarios, learning them, telehealth, trying to improve the healthcare services and providing the services at doorstep on phone call, because 50% of the diseases, especially the OPD diseases, could be managed at home itself, right? So those kind of scenarios where we can manage and minimize load on the hospitals, we are inculcating that. So that is where subjective things comes in, right? A quick analysis versus quantitative goes an objective analysis, specifies, quantifies data. In subjective, it's a non-statistical data. We go more on the context. Typical data included measurable quantities, length, size, etc. What you can measure in specific numbers, but in qualitative, you cannot measure a specific raison. For example, gender, you cannot measure just like that. How gendering you are. Can somebody ask how much male you are or how much female you are? Cannot, right? So that's the gray line there. Gender, yeah, I'm a male. How much or less? There is no quantification of it. Color, there's no quantification. It can change, right? Nationality, how national you are? No, I'm a national. That's all. I'm a Malaysian. I'm an Indian. I'm an American. I'm a European Union person with a German or French, right? I'm a Russian. Okay, could be any. I'm a Ukrainian or I'm an Australian. XYZ 200 plus countries are there in the world. Religion, faith, it cannot be quantified. On the other hand, like here, analysis where we do quantify data, how much certain phenomena occurs. We specifically ask how many incidences. For example, just we passed through COVID situation throughout the world, we were always emphasizing on quantitative data. Every day, most of us, I'm not sure everyone or not, but I believe when it was on peak, every day, morning to evening, we had one focus. We used to go on My Sajatra app, and check how many cases in the country today. Evening 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. around when KKM is releasing the data, our eyes on the app. How many cases today? And we're like, so much, so less. Then next step, let's see in my one square kilometer radius or diameter, how many cases are there, so that I can like have a sigh of relief. Okay, although cases were very high, but in my surrounding is less, so maybe I'm still in a better position. That's quantifying, right? How much, how many, specific. But when we go on certain phenomena where we cannot quantify, for example, reasoning, why two people of same age, size, health, physically though, one having multiple episodes or having is more vulnerable, getting cases, getting sick, other is not and all. It's more of a qualitative, because we have to dig in. There are certain parameters, body inside mechanisms, biohealth, how it's going on, how organs are working, how metabolism is working, how physiology and pharmacology inside the body is working, right? How clinically well the person is doing, right? So we cannot quantify that. Quantitative, just because you have to draw a conclusion, you often need a very large sample. Okay, in comparison to qualitative, I'm saying we need large samples, but in qualitative, we need smaller sample. Often we go for saturation, because after a certain point, often things start repeating. Okay, now test hypotheses give future predictions. In quantitative, we need to have some hypothesis, we put it. Going deeper into analysis, there are so many things. Then in quantitative, you will have to test whether it's a parametric data or non-parametric data, means like normally distribution, non-normal distribution. Along the line, you will choose your parametric test, non-parametric test. It's itself a world. Okay, but in qualitative, we interpret what the person is trying to say. We often ask, right, hey, did you understand what I'm trying to say? Even to our closest friend with whom we have spent like whole childhood, still we ask, do you understand or not? That's where qualitative comes in. Okay, social interaction. Now, in research methodology, quantitative is often conclusive. It at the end, it will tell you you should do it or don't do it. End of discussion. But qualitative explains you the situation, and usually the ball falls in your hand. Decide now. You understood the situation. Now you decide you want to do it or not. So this one I found, and it's kind of very, very like socially relevant, which can make you understand what exactly the difference is. In quantitative, only 1 in 30 take the free ice cream. End of discussion. Only one will get free ice cream. Fixed. In qualitative, the question will come, what did you feel when you saw the free ice cream? Excited, a little scared. And why was that? Because now it's discussion coming in. It's an open-ended question. Excited, yes, but scared too. If you say one will get, there's no question asked or any information shared. Even if you had that feeling behind, okay, free ice cream, so nice, but why they're giving free? Is it stale, old stock, expired stock, or something in return? Is it really free, or in return I have to buy some things too, or one-on-one free, or what is the catch? We often get scared of that catch, but in quantitative, we do not get that avenue. It's a fixed criteria. Qualitative, you get an open end, right? When we take feedbacks. I hope you now have clarity over what's quantitative and qualitative says. Now we go on to product development. Product could be a drug, a machine, a service, a profession. If you're providing, giving to the society, to other person who is buying or using, it's a product. In qualitative, we explore. Quantitative, quantify. Qualitative, we dig in deep. Why happening, the reasoning. In quantitative, we validate is right or wrong. That's all. Okay. Quantitative, we make decisions. Qualitative, we seek to understand the scenario, situation, why it is happening, what we can do to come out of the situation, or the next time things better, we can avoid the situation to come in, right? This is my way. At present era, we need quantitative and qualitative both at different level. So we go with mixed method analysis. We cannot run away like, okay, quantitative gives me yes or no decision, so always go with the quantitative. No. Or qualitative, no, I'm a person who likes to understand. No, 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 yes or no doesn't work. If both type of people, both type of population exist, we cannot jump towards one, right? Because it will be unfair again. Just imagine at the level when you are running a team, a smaller level, or a faculty, a school, a research lab, or a small entrepreneur company, going towards a bigger organization, a state, or a country. Imagine, right? So in that place, we need mixed method approach. What we can quantify, we quantify. Where we need opinions, whether what we quantify, majority getting benefited or not, and those who are not getting benefited, how much they are suffering or how it's impacting them, right? So the impact will come from qualitative. Quantitative helps us to decide, make decision. Qualitative helps you to understand the impact. And that's where we go into any method preparation, policy making, the major running, right? Okay. So I would like to now summarize my talk today, where qualitative and quantitative analysis we went. So quantitative, it quantifies data in a very specific manner or predict the future of areas. Qualitative, we need to go on deeper level to understand the situation. Sample is small in qualitative. In quantitative, we often need large population samples. Okay. In terms of qualitative, researchers go for interview, verbal, recorded or not recorded, but it's verbal, where we give open-ended questions to the interviewees. Those our respondents are. In quantitative, we conduct experiments, observation, measurement, we quantify data. Okay. Typical data like in qualitative are color, race, gender, these are not quantifiable at all, for example. But in quantitative, we have measurable data that we can specifically say that density, okay, 1 kg per square meter, or length is 10 centimeter, 170 meter, right? Size, 6 inches, 10 inches, 1 feet, 1 meter, weight, 60 pounds, 200 kilos, anything that's point to point. So finally, I conclude here, quantitative is conclusive and objective, where we fix with the objective. We want to know that whether this product should be bought or sold or not. So we conclude it. Qualitative, it's subjective. Let's check it, how many people like it, for what reasons they like it. We explore in deeper, right? So that is where I end my discussion over this topic. We are the pharmacists serving the community, and our students are our pride. Hopefully, they go on. Thank you. So, what are you thinking? Please throw up the question.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ashutosh. That was a brilliant presentation. Even I have learned quite a lot from your presentation, sir. That brings us to a question Q&A session, and I want to ask, since you are teaching in the pharmacy practice area, is there any module or any year and semester where you teach qualitative and quantitative study or analysis?
Right, sir. That's a good question, because our students, they need to be future ready. They will be future researchers, academicians. They need to understand how the dynamics work. So yes, starting from year 3, 2 and 3, they get specific on biostatistics and mathematics.
Ah.
Although since semester one, actually, in a bit we inculcate these topics so that they have better understanding. Whenever we are teaching with our lecture slides and lecture materials we give, we start inculcating the habit of referring to the research articles, so that they start having feel that why they are using numbers or why they are quoting certain statistical tests. Later, when we go into these subjects, these biostatistics, evidence based, okay, so in these type of topics, there they get exposed to the specific statistical test. Then they go for research methodology. They do small projects at community pharmacy, at hospitals as well. Further, in final year, for whole year, they have to do individual research, which we call it final year project, where they have to design a research, they have to do the analysis, of course, under the supervision of a supervisor, and
Correct.
then come up with a whole thesis, completing their whole structure, understanding them, starting from the objective till concluding the data.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. And thank you for the viewers, everyone. If you want to get more information about our programs, faculty, and university, please go to our website, www.mahasa.edu.my. We will come back with an interesting topic again. Please stay tuned and stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.